afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Misty Haycock, KDP's President of the National Board of Directors. Welcome to KDP's first ever virtual Founders Day celebration. I am honored to be with fellow KDP members from around the country today. It is so wonderful to gather for this special occasion. I love seeing old friends and new faces. Thank you for sharing your time today to honor KDP champions and celebrate 113 years of KDP success. During our celebration today, we will be sharing some information with you in the chat, so please make sure to check the chat often and join in the celebration. Joining us today are also KDP's National Board of Directors. Thank you for your service to KDP and giving of your time, talents, and treasures to support our mission. We also have KDP national staff members attending today as well. You can learn more about each board member and each staff member through the link in the chat. KDP was founded at the University of Illinois on March 8, 1911. These individuals established KDP as an inclusive organization dedicated to encouraging and recognizing that men and women and people of color make excellent educators. At the time, other national honor societies were only recognizing male educators as having a legitimate place in the classroom. Today, we will honor 3 champions of KDP and education with our highest recognition known as the Founders Awards. KDP's highest chapter recognition, the Florence B. Stratemeyer Award for Chapter Excellence, formerly known as the Ace of the Ace Award, was awarded to the Xi Psi chapter at Fitchburg State University, and you will enjoy learning about their award-winning service projects and community impact. It is now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker and KDP member, Lucian Jovic. Mr. Jovic is an educator who teaches 8th grade English and writing, as well as 9th through 12th grade students with limited English proficiency. He is pursuing his doctorate in educational leadership and administration at Molloy University, with a focus on social justice and quality, equitable education for all learners. He also serves as a collaborator at the Cognition and Learning Laboratory at Molloy University. Mr. Jovic volunteers as one of KDP's 5 representatives to the United Nations, meeting with delegates and leaders from across the globe. Lucian?
Hey everyone, it's such a pleasure to speak at KDP's Founders Day event. As a KDP United Nations representative, I, along with my fellow KDP UN representatives, Susan, Isabel, Khalil, and Trina, we meet with world leaders and delegates to look for new and innovative pedagogical approaches to best meet the needs of students. And we work closely with the UN to disseminate various information from the UN to various local, state, and regional chapters, members, and ultimately our classrooms where our students are. And the United Nations has 17 Sustainable Development Goals, known as SDGs. And these goals include education, which we, along with KDP, work tirelessly to ensure we provide a high quality and equitable education for all learners. And it's engaging in this collaborative exchange of discourse. Rooted in this inquiry and exploration are some of the many tasks with which we are charged with. And it's such an honor and such a pleasure to represent KDP and our members and educators across the globe at the United Nations. In addition to today also being Founders Day, and a lot of the work that's done with the United Nations, we also like to recognize that it's also International Women's Day. So it's in honor of this International Women's Day, I would like to share just a few words about someone who has had a major impact in my life, and that's my grandmother. She grew up in a small town in Croatia, located in Eastern Europe. And while she lived through a war, supporting her family and overcoming various obstacles, she actually obtained her law degree and eventually became a lawyer and a judge in Croatia. So her hard work, her dedication, her motivation has inspired me to pursue my doctoral degree and create essentially a sustainable future for generations to come. And I always say she's a dreamer, she's a believer, she's an achiever. And it's her passion, her work, her dedication that reminded me that there are many women in this world who work tirelessly to challenge the future generations of leaders to succeed and learners. So to all women in the celebration, your friends, your family, your loved ones, a sincere thank you for all that you do on behalf of everyone at KDP, and a very happy Founders Day and a happy International Women's Day to everyone here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lucian. And it is quite ironic that today we are going to honor 3 women here as well for Happy International Women's Day as well. It is now my pleasure to award these 3 outstanding KDP members with our highest recognition, our KDP's Founders Awards. These 3 awards were launched at KDP's Centennial Celebration in 2011. As a tribute to KDP's founding members and their vision for KDP's prominent role in the field of education, these Founders Awards honors educators of excellence at the local, national, or global level, fulfilling our founders' visions today. Each recipient received their beautiful crystal award prior to today's celebration, and perhaps they can show it to us when they speak. The first award is the Dr. William C. Bagley Award for Leadership Excellence. It's given to an individual who has demonstrated a sustained effort in leadership excellence within KDP and the education profession at the local, national, or global level. Dr. William C. Bagley, who lived from 1874 to 1946, founded KDP in 1911. He was committed to the growth and strengthening of KDP throughout his life. He also established the University of Illinois School of Education, focusing his career on educating teachers and developing curriculum for the education of teachers. It is my honor to present this award to Dr. Pamela Kramer Ertel. She earned a BA in elementary education from Marian University in Indianapolis, an MA in early childhood education from Kane University in New Jersey, and an EDD in elementary education from Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. She started her career as an elementary classroom teacher and then transitioned to higher education. Dr. Kramer Ertel worked to achieve the rank of full professor at East Stroudsburg University of Pennsylvania, and then served as the Dean of the College of Education at ESU. She currently holds the rank of professor at Middle Tennessee State University, where she is the Early Childhood Program Coordinator. Her research interests include trauma-informed practices, children's mental health, classroom management, and best practices in teacher preparation. She has authored teacher education books and publications, including the ABCs of Classroom Management, one of my favorite books. Dr. Kramer Ertel has been deeply involved with KDP, serving on the National Board of Directors as Vice President and President. Furthermore, she has served as chapter counselor of the Gamma Xi chapter at East Stroudsburg University for nearly 17 years. In 2021, she was inducted as a member of the Eleanor Roosevelt chapter of KDP, as someone who has made a significant and long-time contributions of service to KDP and demonstrated a commitment to its ideals and excellence in teaching. Congratulations, Pam. Please take this opportunity to share a few words.
Thank you, Misty. I'm so honored and humbled to accept the 2024 Dr. William C. Bagley Award for Leadership Excellence. I've been involved with KDP for about 27 years, starting out as a chapter counselor at East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania, where I served as a counselor for about 17 years. It was my involvement in KDP where I truly learned to thrive as a leader. I learned how to lead a KDP chapter. I learned how to be a leader at my university, where I went on to serve as the dean. And I learned how to lead a large organization as I served as the president of the KDP Executive Council. It was through numerous collaborations, conferences, and professional development activities sponsored by KDP that allowed me the opportunity to gain experience and expertise as a leader and serve in these roles. Choosing to be a member of KDP was the most important professional development decision of my life. I was mentored well by outstanding KDP staff, leaders, and members. Besides learning to lead well, I also learned how to be a better writer and presenter, as I had the privilege of writing for numerous KDP publications and presenting at many KDP conferences. One of my favorite aspects of being a KDP member is being able to attend Convo. I have attended every in-person Convo since about 1997, and it has become my favorite and most valued professional conference. What makes it so special is the positive energy, enthusiasm, and passion for the profession, as well as the outstanding workshops and speakers. In my current role as the program coordinator of the Early Childhood Program at Middle Tennessee State University, I visit many classrooms on a regular basis. What breaks my heart is the joy and excitement for learning that's missing in so many of today's classrooms. KDP serves as a beacon of integrity, excellence, and passion for the profession we desire for all educators. I am so grateful that this organization honors and recognizes excellence in education, as that is needed now more than ever. I remain involved in KDP because it feeds my desire to stay passionate, informed, and dedicated to this beloved profession. I've spent the majority of my adult life in teacher education. I, like William Bagley, have a passion for the improvement of teacher preparation, as we know that the teacher is the most considerable influence on a child's success in learning. I am so grateful to William Bagley for his role in founding KDP, which has been the major influence in my own professional development and learning. Thank you, KDP, for this incredibly special Founders Day Award.
Oh, thank you, Pamela, and for giving us a glimpse of that beautiful award. The next award, the Dr. Truman L. Kelly Award for Scholarship Excellence, is given to an individual who has demonstrated a sustained effort in scholarship excellence within KDP and the education profession at the local, national, or global level. Dr. Truman L. Kelly lived from 1884 to 1961 and was instrumental in the founding of KDP. He was a noted scholar who made an impact on American education through his work in statistics and education. He also had an interest in the sciences and psychology. Dr. Jennifer Martin is an associate professor of teacher education at the University of Illinois at Springfield. Prior to working in higher education, Dr. Martin worked in public education for 17 years, 15 of those as the department chair of English at an urban alternative high school for students labeled at risk for school failure in metropolitan Detroit. Dr. Martin's research investigates theory and practice in education through the critical intersectional lenses of race, class, gender, and sexuality. She has co-written and edited 9 books, numerous book chapters, and peer-reviewed articles. She is the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Urban Learning, Teaching, and Research. In addition to scholarly writing, she is committed to writing for practitioners. Along with KDP members Dr. Julie Hoffman and Leanna Malinowski, Dr. Martin has been working with her undergraduate students to publish their original writing on literacy education for the KDP blog. She is currently on sabbatical, working with students at an alternative high school on memoir writing. She hosts a podcast called Educate. Congratulations, Jennifer. Please take this opportunity to share a few words.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to all my friends at Katie Pie, and that intro was so nice. I might cry. I'll try not to. So I'm tremendously honored to receive the Dr. Truman L. Kelly Award for Scholarship Excellence from KDP. This recognition is particularly meaningful to me because I hold KDP, its leaders, and its members in such high esteem. My students and I have gained much knowledge from the organization over the years, and I am immensely grateful for all of the positive learning experiences. Katie Pie has offered my students and me opportunities to present, travel, and publish. I have met the most amazing KDP leaders and members who have become lifelong friends and collaborators. You know who you are. Special thanks goes to Misty Haithcock, Tonya Egan, Michelle Milani, and Thomas Almet. In terms of my current research, I am investigating educational trauma, or the harms that educational policies and practices have on individuals and groups, particularly historically marginalized populations. I am also interested in the long-term educational impact of the pandemic on student academic behavior. For example, just last semester, I had the biggest group of struggling students in my 10 years as a professor in higher education, and these were undergraduate teacher ed candidates. And that is 2+ years post-pandemic, and I know I'm not alone. I hope to be able to assess the educational experiences of teacher candidates and teacher education professors from the last few years so that we can better prepare our future teachers to understand and persevere through our current and future learning challenges. If you are interested in participating in this research, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you again, and thank you, KDP.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Our third award for today, Founders Day Award, is the Dr. Thomas E. Musselman Award for Service Excellence, and it's given to an individual who has demonstrated a sustained effort in service excellence within KDP and the education profession at the local, national, or global level. Dr. Thomas E. Musselman lived from 1887 to 1976 and was president of the Illinois Education Club at the time the club was exploring the possibility of merging with other clubs on a national level. He helped ensure that the ideals of KDP membership as an educator, without regard to any racial, religious, or other restrictions, were upheld. From the age of 5, Dr. Eva Kleinpeter can remember her parents emphasizing the importance of education and hard work. She earned a bachelor's degree in elementary education as well as certifications in kindergarten education. She then earned 2 master's degrees from Southern University, one in elementary education and one in math communications. Dr. Kleinpeter graduated with a PhD from Kansas State University in Curriculum and Instruction and Reading with a minor in Multicultural Education and Nursery School. Within her work in education, she has improved the way students learn advanced math, computer science, and cursive writing. She created the Writing Made Easy system, a patented workbook that teaches students the fundamentals of writing skills, and we know how much that is needed. In her mission to improve education and writing skills, Dr. Kleinpeter has donated thousands of her writing tablets and school supplies to students around the country. She continues to give back by volunteering at the public school near her home, in churches, libraries, and other education centers. She supports multiple organizations through her philanthropy, such as the Dr. Eva Kleinpeter Scholarship at KDP, as well as a scholarship and 2 endowed professorships at Southern University. Congratulations, Ava. If you are able to take a few minutes, please take this opportunity to share a few words.
Good evening, and thank you so very much for making us a part of Kappa Delta Pi, International Honor Society in Education. First, I want to thank all of the people who have helped me, as you have mentioned, 5 years old to now, through elementary education, high school, and pushing me to my first university when I did not think that was even possible. While at Southern University receiving my first degree and working on my second degree, they taught me the kinds of things I needed to learn in order to join Kappa Delta Pi, the International Honor Society in Education. They taught me the leadership skills necessary for me to serve as a counselor of the chapter, Ada Mu chapter. And by doing so, we were able to do so much in the community in terms of volunteering, donating books, and much, much more. While we were doing this, Kappa Delta Pi was there to guide us, to evaluate us, and to push us to greater height. They show the representation by presenting us with a number of certificates, trophies, and plaques. For that, we are truly grateful. After retiring, I must say, because I have been motivated and I'm still being guided by Kappa Delta Pi International Honor Society, I am still working, as mentioned earlier, in all of the venues that were necessary for us to help. As late as Tuesday, as I helped the students in reading, writing, language arts, and much more, 2 little boys came to me and said, I need some more papers because I want to do more work. Motivating the children according to the mission, the goals of education and Kappa Delta Pi. This is why we are here. I want to thank all of you for doing so. Last but not least, as was mentioned earlier, I do have a special tablet that is designed to teach both manuscript with a very easy formula. And after they learn and master the basic fundamentals of manuscript, they can go to cursive writing with a formula. Also, it's color coded. Would you believe as late as Monday, I had a little boy to learn the basic fundamentals in 1 hour. The formula is designed to teach writing, both manuscript and cursive, with 15-minute periods in less than 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, members of Kappa Delta Pi, along with people all over, please join all of us to help enhance the skills of our people to greater height. Thank you very, very much, Kappa Delta Pi. I have enjoyed serving over 3 decades, and I have learned so much from the leaders, from the associate members, from my students at Southern University, and I am still learning. So keep it up, please. Love you much and bless you much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ava. Again, congratulations to Pamela, Jennifer, and Ava. It is truly our honor to honor you with these Founders Day awards. I now invite Joe Clemmer to introduce the Xi Psi chapter of Pittsburg State University. Joe serves as the manager of member experience for the Northeast and community colleges. Joe?
Thank you, Misty, and hello, everyone. Let's get my face off the screen. It is my pleasure to recognize a chapter that has worked harder and more consistently than any other chapter in the Northeast. The Xi Psi chapter of Fitchburg State University demonstrates the important qualities that not only make them worthy of the Florence B. Stratemeyer Award, but also worthy leaders in a profession built upon the qualities of enthusiasm for knowledge and growth, a desire to serve humanity, and a tenacious persistence to succeed. First, the enthusiasm is evident in the chapter's ever-expanding list of programs. Professional development activities like their regular PD sessions, mock interviews, and administrator meet and greets display a clear desire to hone one's craft. Secondly, the desire to serve humanity is visible in the chapter's numerous service projects and deep community involvement, including Letters for Veterans, volunteering for Special Olympics, Reading for the Record, Dot Day, and their work with the Nambale Magnet School in Kenya. And finally, the persistence needed to be an effective teacher can be summarized by the Xi Psi chapter's quiet results over the years. The Xi Psi chapter has regularly been a finalist for the Florence B. Stratemeyer Award, and to give you a little peek behind the curtain, they are our top chapter this year, but they have been among our top 3 chapters for a decade. Thank you to Dr. Nancy Murray, Dr. Karen DeAngelis, and Dr. Lori Link for your dedicated stewardship of the chapter. Please join me in a round of applause for this incredible group of educators as we welcome them to speak.
Hello. Good. First of all, Karen and I and Lori can't tell you how honored we are. KDP is dear to our heart. It has been dear to our heart for many years. And not only the ideals, but really how it helps our students grow. I know I have a short time and Joe knows how much I talk, so I'm going to move right along. Joe, if you can go to the next slide. I just want to give a very brief history of the Xi Psi chapter, and mainly I want to honor Dr. Lori DeRosa. In 2000, Lori was given what she always refers to as a box in the corner and said, here, start this chapter or revitalize this chapter. And Lori shares that it wasn't until, oh, I'm so glad you added that, wasn't until she went to the 2003 Convo that she really understood and grasped the true value of what a KDP membership is. That value, that dedication and belief in KDP was passed down to myself and passed down to Karen and Lori. And so I think that's one of the reasons why, from Lori's enthusiasm, KDP means so much to all of us. We have also recently been part of the KDP United Nations Task Force, and our chapter has really broadened our commitment to the ideals of KDP to include the important task of increasing awareness of the Sustainable Development Goals within our nation and embedding them in our curriculum. Okay, Joe. The history of a little bit more of the ACE Awards, just very quickly, and I already said a lot of this, but the student leaders of KDP are the key to our chapter receiving the 10 consecutive ACE Awards. It is our students, our executive board, our members, and we are so proud of them, and we constantly watch them grow as leaders, and they're the ones that are going to go out into our schools and help create an environment that we want all students to be a part of. So we are really grateful to KDP and our past and present members of the Xi Psi chapter.
So my name is Karen DeAngelis. Like Nancy said, I'm one of the counselors of the chapter. And Joe, I just want to comment on something that you said about the quiet results of KDP, our chapter. That's something for me that has really meant so much from working with Nancy as well as Laurie. We don't do what we do because we need recognition or we do it because we care about our students and making an impact on our community. So it just means a lot to me that you said that, and that's something that's noticed because we do this work because we care about the mission of KDP. So thank you for acknowledging that. And Joe, also thank you for everything that you have done to help our chapter be so successful over the years. I know any member that works with you or counselor would just say that you are amazing in terms of supporting chapters. So today I celebrate you, Joe, and everything that you have done. But I also want to just highlight a few activities related to our chapter that we believe are worthy of celebrating. First, that KDP is really a part of the culture at Fitchburg State University. We strive to have a presence on campus, as well as within the broader community. And in fact, about 2 months ago, there was an article published in our local newspaper titled Teacher Training at FSU, nationally recognized. And they wrote a beautiful article about the contributions of our chapter to the community. So that's something that we are excited to celebrate. We also are really pleased with our impact locally as well as globally. We recognize that KDP has the ability and opportunity to make a difference on both the local and national level, and that we're in a position to make the world a better place for others. And we don't take this responsibility lightly. We are committed to this work, and we put in the time and the effort to see results that make a difference in the lives of others. And that means a lot to us and to our students. In fact, following a recent open house event where our members developed and led activities for students, the assistant principal from the school wrote a letter to our students about their impact, and she commented that she's loved the students at the school, loved having our students there to help, and that the enthusiasm, patience, and hard work of our students contributed to the success of that event. This is an example of what we get often. So it's like good teaching. It takes time for us to plan our events, but then they flow nicely, and we always receive such positive feedback about our impact. So that's something that we are excited to celebrate. And in terms of the another example within the community, as Joe mentioned, we oversaw the Regional Special Olympics in Massachusetts, the Central Mass event. And during that event, students took on a leadership role in organizing volunteers from across all majors and organized activities for the athletes, organized the collection and donation of books to all the athletes. So as you can probably see as I'm talking, we strive to create opportunities that allow our members to connect with the community, but also to develop leadership skills. We strive in really making sure that our student leaders have a chance to grow in their own leadership skills. So in terms of on a global level, my colleague Nancy will talk about our partnership with the Nambali Magnet School in Western Kenya. But we also, through our work with the UN Task Force, Nancy and I have really started to reflect on how our curriculum and our materials and our classes address the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we're looking at our curriculum with a new lens. And in addition, we're looking at our KDP activities and seeing where there's alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So this is something that we're excited about as we move forward. And Nancy, go ahead.
No, thanks. Karen, thank you as always. I think one of the things in regard to looking at our United Nations and the Sustainable Development Goals is we keep at the forefront our mission of impacting our leaders, but in ultimately impacting students in schools and in systems, and not just in the United States, of course, but beyond. And being able to celebrate at our induction ceremony, which we all have, but it's very dear to our heart. Our celebration is really focuses on our KDP members, our current e-board, our e-board that's coming up, and keeping our mission in mind and motivating. And I really loved that when some of the speakers were speaking about motivating students, that's what we try to model all the time for them. So, Joe, can you go to the next one? I know I could talk forever. And the Nambali Magnet School partnership is very, very dear to my heart and Karen's heart. And I really as quick as I can, I want to give you a little snippet of how this started because it's just really cool. In 2017, Lori DeRosa actually was in a cab ride. She hopped into a cab, and Martine Naletti at the time asked to join her cab, and they began speaking. Martine at that time was head of the Cornerstone Project, which was helping to fund and helping to develop the Namale Magnet School in Western Kenya. They started speaking, and that's how the Namale Magnet School partnership really began. And it is because of KDP's mission and dedication and value to all students that this partnership started. In 2019, I visited the Namale Magnet School. I brought one of our chapter students, and a student from the University of Rhode Island also came with us. We brought 20 iPads. But what was most importantly, they were there, students were there for 4 weeks. I could only stay for 2, unfortunately. But out of that, and has Meg been able to join? I don't know if she.
I don't think so yet. I told her to let me know when she joined.
Okay, thank you. Megan Steiger, who joined me, she will speak to you about the leadership skills that she developed there and the connection and the commitment to all children. And it's an experience that changed her life. In 2019, that same year, we became a member of the Cornerstone Project. And Megan Steiger currently is the chair and leading the Cornerstone Project in all of its efforts. She is the epitome of what we want to bring our students as they become undergraduate to a graduate to a teacher to a leader of what KDP is about. And we continue to collaborate with the teachers at the Namale Magnet School, Karen and Dr. Lori Link. They've done I've done trainings, they've done workshops with the teachers there, but I really want to stress the workshops are a collaboration. They're not us saying everything we know, but learning from them, and also their teachers learning from us. And we have a plan to return next summer. Go ahead, Kim. I know my timer went off, Joe, sorry.
So right now I'd like to highlight one of our events that has been really successful for our members as well as members of the local community. This event was started in November of 22 when our volunteer coordinator at the time, Erin Maida, developed a program that would connect KDP members with local students as well as local veterans. So during this activity, our members lead a lesson on the importance of Veterans Day with elementary school students. They read a book with students, and then they lead a lesson about how you develop a letter. So once that letter is written, these letters are then distributed to a veterans hospital in Massachusetts, as well as to an assisted living facility. And you can see in one of the pictures there with the blue circles, the blue circles that's there. That's a student delivering the letters at a ceremony honoring veterans. And it was really powerful because they ended up sharing the letters with each other, and then the other members of the assisted living community that were in the audience started asking questions about their experiences. So it was really powerful to see the impact, from our students being able to teach a lesson, then students learning about Veterans Day, and then getting them delivered to local veterans. So it was really an impact in so many ways. And following the event, one student offered this feedback in an evaluation. She said, "I've also never taught about Veterans Day before, so it was very valuable to inform the students and have them make connections to their own lives for their relatives that they know who are in the military. Some students even brought their letters home to veterans that they knew. I like how we gave back, we also gave books to each classroom, including providing books for each classroom and the cards that we delivered. So this activity, which we have continued, has really had a positive impact on so many levels."
Joe, I'm not sure if we have time, or Misty. Meg has joined now. We originally told her later. Do we have time to hear a little bit from Megan in regard to the Nabali Magnet School? Great,
Oh, absolutely. We'd love for her to join and
thank
speak.
you. Meg?
Hi, everyone. I'm Meg. It's so great to see all of you. Yeah, so I was able to go to school in 2019 with Dr. Murray, and through KDP, we connected with Martine, and it was just a wonderful experience. I'm not sure if Dr. Murray spoke about it already. I'm sorry I'm late. I had to change my preps at work to kind of rearrange this. But overall, it was such a great experience for me. And I was just so eye-opening. Had a lot of opportunities to really develop my leadership skills, and I connected with Martine, who was formerly the president of the Cornerstone Project, which is a nonprofit that supports the Nambale Magnet School. And now I've connected with her, and through KDP, we've begun a wonderful partnership. And we meet with some other chapters besides Fitchburg State and collaborate on ways to support the students there and the learners and the teachers, more importantly. Or not as important, it's as important, but we really support the teachers. They have access to our teacher channel, and they're really developing as educators as much as they can, as we can support them.
Thank you, Meg.
Great. Thanks, Meg. And actually, Meg, I'd love for you to talk a little bit too about your role as a president of KDP, and then what, in terms of like celebrating, like think about how we try to celebrate and honor the work of our leaders.
Yeah, so I also was president of KDP as an undergrad student, and as in graduate school, I was an alumni, and now I'm still involved. So just my connection with the professors and the other students that were in KDP with me were fabulous. I really did gain leadership skills. I was able to run Special Olympics there when I was a senior at Fitchburg State. And it just gave me a lot of skills and opened up a lot of doors for me to talk about, especially in my interviews going to apply for jobs. So now this is my second year as a special ed teacher, and I was able to talk about Special Olympics, going to the Nambale Magnet School in Kenya, and all of those wonderful opportunities that KDP brought to me helped me to get to where I am today. We also do a lot to celebrate educators in our local area through KDP. We were doing some dot day activities. We supported the teachers on the McKay campus. We do just some wonderful things.
Great.
We also have done some, we've done some of the welcoming. I'm trying to think of the right, not initiation. What am I'm trying to talk about when we have the teachers on the video through NMS. Dr. DeAngelis, you'll remember this.
Yep.
Induction. Thank
Yeah,
you.
an induction ceremony with the
Thank you. Sorry, it's been crazy day. Yeah, so one of the ways that we highlighted and really made sure that the teachers at the Nambale Magnet School knew how important they were, not just as an educator there, but in this entire world. We had an induction ceremony online for them where we got to honor them all individually. We sent over packets and certificates to make sure that they knew not only were their students really valuable, but so were they, because they are doing fabulous work that we were really thankful for them.
Thank you, Meg. And Meg, I'm glad that you commented on the importance of like honoring and celebrating teachers. And that's really something that we focus on in our chapter. I don't think I mentioned this before, but also at our induction ceremony, we give an award to a local educator, as well as to executive board members to recognize their work. And just this final slide, about community, and I think Meg kind of talked a lot about this. KDP is really part of the culture at Fitchburg State. Prospective students are told about KDP at recruitment events, and any tour of the education department, they see our display case with our awards. And then once students are enrolled, they become informed about chapter activities. And they really get to see that KDP is something that is part of them in their daily activities on campus, but it extends throughout their entire career. And as you can see with Meg, this is what we hope for all of our students, that they remain connected to the mission of KDP, to the work of KDP, and just to continue to carry on these important activities as they progress through their career.
Karen, just one little thing that we just finalized when Karen and we speak about the community and helping our campus be aware of all that KDP does. For our coming induction ceremony in April, we have an author coming again. This will be his third time. Brian Lees, he loves coming to speak to our students, and he's amazing. But we're partnering with the library. So our library has a big poster, and it's going to have a display case, not only of his books, but about KDP. What is KDP? And that's, it's again, the awareness across campus. So we're not in such a little silo, but an understanding of all that we do. And I do want to add, I know Karen, you mentioned it earlier, but really without starting from when Lori picked up that box, without the support and the mentoring from KDP, we would never be the chapter that we are today. We can pick up a phone, pick up an email, call Joe, and Joe always gets right back to us, even if our questions are like, what are you talking about? But the support and everyone at KDP, really, they're so dear to our hearts. So thank you all very much.
We're waiting for questions to be dropped in the chat. Again, I want to congratulate you on the phenomenal work that you are doing and the recognition that you received at KDP Convo by winning the ACE of the ACE Award, Florence B. Stratemeyer. And we are honored to highlight you today in the Founders Day Award celebration. So I believe there's a question.
There is.
Joe, Sam.
Yeah, can you provide guidance on making connections with community programs?
Do you want to take that one, Karen? I can. Go ahead, Karen. Go ahead.
One thing that I have found to be effective is I don't know everybody. So sometimes I use my own connections, but I'll also ask my colleagues for their recommendations. Because I only have within my own network. So I think recognizing that you don't have all the answers sometimes is really important. I think having good collaboration skills and be willing, like Nancy said, when we work with the teachers at the Nambaleg Magnet School, it's very much a partnership. So when we create our community partnerships, it's not us always like giving, it's like what can we learn from each other? So when we're establishing connections with our community-based organizations, it's a very reciprocal relationship, and I think that's what's helped it to be successful.
And I think the more you do, different communities and organizations reach out to us because we are known in the community more, so they'll reach out to us for assistance.
I had a direct question message to me. What advice would Meg give to students on how to get the most out of their KDP experience?
Great question.
That is a good question. Before KDP, I was very shy and quiet, and it took a lot out of me to kind of push myself to do these things. And then Dr. Murray and Dr. DeAngelis really helped with that. They would ask me to do things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I put myself out there. So really finding the right support system, but also taking risks and really putting yourself out there, trying things that make you uncomfortable, which is now something I preach to my students every day. But once I did that, I felt like there was no going back for me. I was really just going to take every opportunity that I got, and I was going to be fortunate with what KDP has given me and offered me, and really just take it and run with it.
Awesome. So from Dr. DeAngelis and Dr. Murray, and then also Meg's perspective, so what are you hearing from your students, or what do you need, Meg, as a teacher about your professional development these days?
So I'll just speak. I'm actually on sabbatical this semester, and I was so pleased to learn that one of our members, an executive board member, just developed a workshop about the MCAS. That's our state test that students need to pass to to get a license. So one thing I hear that our students need is they need support sometimes with this test. And I'm on I love that the students like love learning things like this. Nancy, you told me about this the other day. I'm like, that's wonderful. So there was a need for this additional prep, and the KDP board helped to meet that need of our students. And I thought, wow, we do a lot of prep for our students, from our department, but I love that this was a student-driven event by KDP for the broader community.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Meg? I know it was for what you might need.
Yeah, something that I need is, I know this is happening everywhere. Like, there's just not enough time in the day to hit all of the standards and really connect with students social emotionally. So finding more of a healthy balance for that, and I guess maybe finding more ways to integrate them together and thinking outside the box, because I do talk to obviously people in my district and my community, but maybe finding and traveling to other schools and visiting, something like that, because our students really need a lot of support in TLC, and I'm just finding that I don't have enough time to do both, and I don't know which to always prioritize.
What a wonderful observation, Meg, and I think everyone's feeling that.
So Joe Clemmer is asking if you had to pick a #1 KDP moment. So out of decades of lots of time, what stands out the most for you?
Oh, I can do that easy. Okay. No, sorry, Karen. No, because it's well, Megan is the epitome of what stands out. But we have that in many students, I think, maybe not as to her level, but when we have an induction ceremony and our current e-board is running that ceremony and talking about all that they've done, and I'm going to get emotional. So Jennifer, sorry, I know that we've had the honor to help them develop and grow as leaders, and seeing them, that means the world to me. And Lori DeRosa, I see you on now, so I can't talk, but she is a gift to KDP and has been to me. I gotta mute, sorry.
I think from Nancy's comments, you can see that this is our focus on a community. Like, this is a kind of small thing, but it kind of speaks volumes. I remember every December we do a dinner for the executive board, and we had we do a Yankee swap. We've done that several times, and just to see, like, I don't know, it's the joy and the community that we create. And to see students who come in kind of quiet, sometimes they join the board to get to know other members. Just to see the change of our students over time as they grow into these leadership roles is really powerful for us as counselors.
Meg, did you have a moment you wanted to share?
I mean, my whole experience has been wonderful, which I know sounds cliche, but having the opportunity to travel through KDP and learn and expand my education background besides just like Massachusetts was probably my favorite. And the connections that you make along the way. I know that Dr. DeAngelis and Dr. Murray are going to be there for me for a long time. I was lucky enough to meet Lori, and we collaborate on a lot of stuff now, and she's fabulous. So just the connections have been really memorable.
Awesome. Pam is asking, since COVID, many students don't want to participate in activities. With everyone busy, how can you help students to want to participate in KDP activities?
I'll just say, and Nancy, I think you can comment on this too. It really was a problem, like right when we got back in person after COVID, like it just was so difficult. I've found that creating different types of events for students. So we have volunteer events in schools. We use like Google so they can sign up for a time slot. So there's those types of events. We also offer events remotely, so they can participate, like we'll do panel sessions, and those will be, they can join remotely or in person. So we try to offer events that students can, be in person participating in a classroom, as well as events where they can join remotely and still, be an active member of the chapter.
And I think, as Karen mentioned earlier, the support for our freshmen and sophomore students that around the MTEL preps, the teacher preps, that's a different perspective, and it's pulling, it's still our community, but it's a different perspective than we've had. And they thought of bringing like door prizes and little things like that to pull students in, and kind of advertising that as well. So adding another shift along with whatever, everything else Karen said.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your awesome, amazing chapter. It is really great to be able to hear directly from you all, including Meg. Thank you so much for joining us. And now we will turn it over to Tonya.
Wow. What an amazing chapter. And congratulations, Nancy, Karen, and Lori, on your amazing chapter and the incredible work you and your students like Meg are doing in your local community and internationally. You're truly KDP superstars, and for that, we thank you. I'm Tonya Egan, the Chief Executive Officer of KDP. I joined KDP in June 2020 to lead KDP with the board of directors, members, counselors, and staff into a new era of teaching excellence. It is my privilege to be celebrating 113 years of teaching excellence with you today. So in our time together, we've celebrated Founders Award honorees, an outstanding chapter, and 113 years of KDP's progress. But we're also here to celebrate you, as each of you represent the essence of what KDP is as a prominent national community dedicated to teaching excellence. You are true champions in and out of the classroom, and for that, we honor and thank you. We have an amazing partnership with K-12 Coalition, and we would like to express our gratitude for K-12 Coalition being our first ever Founders Day sponsor. We're thrilled to be partnering with the team at K-12 Coalition, who are dedicated to teaching for the greater good. The Founders Day campaign is KDP's largest fundraising event of the year. So let's celebrate our 2024 Founders Fund leaders who are longtime members of KDP, who donate to create a giving match in honor of KDP's founding each year. Thank you to our 2024 top supporters, Chris Beeman, Dr. Barbara Day, Dr. Elizabeth Elliott, Dr. Angela Goodlow, Dr. Misty Haycock, Dr. Richard Judd and his wife, Nancy, Dr. Pamela Kramer-Ertel, Helen Martin, Dr. Ross Palmer, Aaron Steele, Dr. Clarissa Gamble Booker, and I am excited to be part of this group as well. We are incredibly grateful for your significant donations to the Founders Fund. Furthermore, I'd like to recognize all the 2024 Founders Fund leaders. Together, they have created a giving match of $26,257. Yay! Thank you so much, so much. And if you haven't participated yet in the Founders Day campaign, we would love for you to donate and invest in KDP. In addition to your gift being doubled by the generous match, we have special thank you gifts, including a sticker with an inspirational quote from KDP laureate George Washington Carver and a KDP belt bag. You could donate online at give.kdp.org/FD24, or just check in the chat for the link to give. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Wendy Amato, the Chief Academic Officer of K-12 Coalition. K-12 Coalition is the parent company to Teaching Channel, iTeach, Insight Education Group, and Lavinia Group. Wendy began teaching in 1991 and has served as a school administrator. She supports educators with resources and tools that improve all student learning outcomes. She earned her master's and PhD in curriculum and instruction from the University of Virginia. And some of you were lucky enough to meet Wendy in November at KDP's Convo in St. Louis. You will love Wendy's enthusiasm for education, and you'll be amazed to learn of the incredible Teaching Channel resources you receive as part of your KDP membership.
Tanya, thank you for your leadership and thank you for welcoming me today. My name is Wendy. I'm the Chief Academic Officer of K-12 Coalition. It is the parent company of the Teaching Channel. Happy Founders Day, KDP, and congratulations to all who have been honored today. If you don't know, shame on me, but you should know that access to Teaching Channel is a benefit of KDP membership. And if you haven't already registered to be able to get to all the resources, click on the link that's coming in the chat and be sure to bookmark it. It will be worth your time. Teaching Channel offers nearly 1,700 videos and more are coming in steadily. It's one of my projects to grow the Teaching Channel library. The videos in the library go from as short as a 1-minute clip that just showcases a special moment, all the way to full class lessons. So really a lot to offer there. We've got a great collection. It spans content areas, subjects, grades. There's a wide variety of school programs that come from many geographies. And through Teaching Channel, you can see inside other educators' classrooms. We never have enough time to do that in our profession, but you can through the Teaching Channel. You can hear colleagues from across the country explaining their instructional strategies. You get lesson ideas, you get tips for classroom management. We all need those. Just a lot of opportunities to help you to elevate and accelerate your teaching excellence. On this very special day, I actually want to talk to you about what it means to be a founder. At its core, the word comes from the Latin fundus. It means base. It's the same root for the word foundation. Every one of us has heard some variation of the idea of the importance of having a solid foundation, built upon rock, not sand. We talk about having core foundational values that define who we are. It's part of what draws us to KDP. Inherent in the word founder is the expectation that what is founded or built or established is meant to last for a long time. The word carries gravitas, and it implies sustained presence. You're not a founder when you envision and make a sandwich. Instead, being a founder suggests that what you envision and make will leave a legacy, that your work will have lasting impact, and that it is deeply meaningful. So on this very day in 1911, Dr. Bagley founded KDP and even challenged the norms of the time in some ways that are personally relevant to me, but all with commitment to education. It was the priority then and is now. I'd love for us to imagine establishing and building a solid foundation, something that's now able to support over 20,000 peers and more than 600 chapters. That's impressive. That is leaving a legacy, providing lasting impact, and being deeply meaningful. Dr. Bagley's vision was followed by goals that were operationalized into plans. And after that, I imagine that was when the work began. And today, 113 years later, the good work continues. It is my honor and privilege to partner with KDP, to sponsor Founders Day, and to share a mission that's centered on teacher excellence. So on behalf of the K-12 Coalition and Teaching Channel, congratulations, KDP, and happy Founders Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today for our inaugural Founders Day celebration. and for being integral to the KDP community. We appreciate the Founders Day donations we received so far, and we encourage you to donate if you haven't done so. But I'd like to ask you to please join me for a real round of applause by unmuting your microphones as we celebrate today's honorees, presenters, and all of our amazing KDP members who are joining us for our 113th Founders Day celebration. Woo, you can hoot.
Yay! Thank you. Congratulations.
So good to see everyone.
Congratulations.
Yes. How exciting. And we hope that you carry this joy with you into this lovely weekend. And we want to thank all of you for being here. And also, it was fun to celebrate International Women's Day with you as well. So thank you, one and all. Have a fabulous day. And you'll receive a link to this recording sometime, probably next week or so. So stay tuned and you'll have a copy of today's celebration. Goodbye.